Hi, this is Joe with Melanie Ginsburg, super real estate professional extraordinaire and marketing guru. And we're going to talk about types of content today because we know that social media is super important. But before we can get into things like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you got to have content. And specifically what we're going to talk about today is evergreen content, which means content that applies any day, any month, any year, really, as opposed to things very specific to the moment that you could reuse over and over again. How's it going, Melanie?
Hey, Joe. Yeah, I'm super excited. As a real estate agent, you probably already know that it's really important to post content about open houses or listings that you have to, showcase what you're doing. But as Joe mentioned, you also need content that you can post any day of the week, anytime. It's really great to just start a collection of things, and then you don't have to stress about what you're going to post because you can just go to where you have all of these things and choose one and post it. So super excited about the lesson today and happy to be here.
And what we want to talk about as well is that you could schedule those things in advance. So you don't just have to post it. There's something called Facebook Creator Studio and other methods of scheduling posts. We're not going to get into that today, but if you guys get a chance, look at it. It's very helpful. So you could take that evergreen content and post it so it's 3 days a week for the next few months or every day of the week, whatever you think is appropriate. And we're also going to talk about things you could places you could store that content in another video. But just to quickly mention it, there's things like Google Drive. Are there any other storage places you could think of, Melanie, where you could organize that content you create?
Yeah, Dropbox. You can start folders on your actual computer, just on your own desktop. Or if you want to, you can save drafts on different places like an email draft or an Instagram draft, a Facebook draft, and then not actually post it. There are a few different options.
Yeah, and we'll talk about those. Many are free. There are some paid ones which are great as well. So you could organize that content so you're ready to schedule at a later time. But for now, let's talk about this evergreen content. Mel, do you want to just redefine evergreen content for me again? For everybody's new, I mentioned it before, but let's reiterate it.
Yep, so evergreen content is content that will be good the day that you post it or any day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be timely. It's not like, oh, it's Christmas today or, oh, it's New Year's. It could be good forever, forever, forever.
And that's great for scheduling purposes. So as you schedule a month from now, if a big event happens that month, that content is still good. So there's 5 types of evergreen content. We had some notes we wrote before we got on the call. So what are those 5 points of evergreen content we like to go over for real estate agents?
Our 5 points are community, inspiration, real estate facts, sales offers, and personal.
Great. Let's go backwards with this. Let's start from the last one. I was thinking about what you said, and I'm like, let's go backwards. First, you got the personal, okay? And the reason I wanted to start with that one, because I can't emphasize enough, don't use your personal account for your business. Separate the two. That applies to Facebook, Instagram, and many other social media platforms, okay? You don't want to talk about personal things for your business. You want to be strategic. So if you do reveal personal facts on your business profile, it's with intent. And so what kind of personal facts would be relevant to put on your business profile? They're things to make you relatable to your customers. For example, if you like surfing, then post something about surfing. If you coach the Little League baseball team, post that. You don't post things you post on your personal, like your opinion about your ex or about your kid's new boyfriend, things like that. You don't want to post in your business. That stuff's safe for your personal profile. Or, when you went on vacation and you drank too much, personal profile stuff. But personal information that applies to your business profile are things that make you more human, more relatable. Maybe you like cupcakes. I don't know. Melanie, help me out here. Give me some more examples of personal information that'd be good for your business profile.
Yeah, like Joe said, anything that makes you seem human. You don't want to just be a robot. People don't want to hire a real estate agent that only talks about houses all day long, because if they're a buyer, they're going to be hanging out with you and looking at houses, and that's boring. So really, be true to who you are. If you, like you said, if you like surfing, if you like cupcakes, but if you don't like those things, don't talk about them. Definitely don't talk about your night out drinking last night, but if you went out to a piano bar because you've been studying piano for 5 years, that's something interesting and classy that you can share, and your readers will feel like they know you, and you become a 3D person to them, and then they'll be more likely to hire you.
Yeah, there's 2 points to that. One, you got to remember this is a personal service. you're not just selling a product, you're selling kind of a connection, and you're going to be helping people along the way, which is true for real estate agents, financial managers, different things where people have a position of trust and guidance that they need to, use. So that's the big reason you want to do that. You want to have that personal touch. You want to have that personal content because it is a personal service, and you want to become a little bit more relatable. And last but not least on this topic, the easiest people to work with are the people who think and look and sound like you, okay? When I say look like you, I mean they like the same type of fashion, same type of interest, things of that nature. I'm talking about, their kind of hobbies. So that's the personal touch. What's the next one, working backwards? Oh, unless you want to say something else about that.
I'll say one thing, yeah. The goal when you're posting personal thing is you want to build trust with your audience, and people trust people that they know. So like you said, when he said they buy from people they look like, it doesn't mean, oh, I have brown hair and you have brown hair. It's like, oh, she is a real person who does actual things, and that makes me like her and trust her, and therefore I want to buy with her.
Speaking of, so Melanie, when you first wrote to me, first time we spoke, did it feel like you already knew me?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, and that's a greater point of the social media as a whole. I mean, just from constantly posting and putting stuff. But because she followed me on social media, because she used my study material that I provide, she feel like she knew me already. And even if she never knew me personally, there's some reason she felt some form of trust. She's like, I don't know why, but I kind of feel like I know this guy, even though we haven't met. Now, obviously, when she meets me, she may or may not trust me, but at least that door is open for that opportunity to create that conversation. So,
great point.
And here we are now, right? High five.
Here we are now.
Okay. So what's the next point?
So the next point is real estate facts. So if you want to post things about, what it's like to be a realtor, like what the home buying process is, how to raise your credit score, what it looks like after, in between when a property is under contract and the actual closing, things like that the average person doesn't know about real estate.
And big point about that, don't assume things. Like you said, how to raise your credit score. I'm going to take a step back. Why not do a post defining what a credit score is? Because a lot of people don't always know this. And if you're wondering, where can I get real estate facts? Well, remember that real estate exam you studied for, or maybe you're studying for now? You could post how big an acre is, what a commercial acre is, what a listing is, what it means. There's a lot of great information in your studies where people say, oh, it's not relevant, it's not relevant. It's more relevant than you think. If you go to a real estate agent and you say, what's a deed? And they're like, I don't know. You're going to be like, I don't know if I want to work with you. And you could post on your social media the definition of a deed. And people who buy a home, they hear the word deed a lot. And a lot of experienced buyers know, but a lot of people will be like, I don't really know. I bought a house like 8 years ago, and my parents helped me. So what was that? I wasn't really paying attention. So those simple facts are good because you don't want to assume people know things. So those little facts you could get from your real estate exam, there's a whole army of facts there that are just easy to post.
Absolutely. And like we've been talking about, you're trying to establish trust with these people. So a good way to, again, like Joe said, you want to work with someone that you trust who seems like they know what they're talking about, who's an expert in the field and an authority. And what better way to establish that than saying, oh, look, I know all of these facts and sharing them with people and teaching them.
So it's not as hard as you think to become an expert. So let me give some examples from the real estate exam studies that you guys may think is obvious, but can make for great posts. Define an appraisal, define a market data comparison approach, define what a listing is, define title, define what a deed is, okay? State how big an acre is, right? All these things are things that are relevant and make for great posts. Now, I'm sure I could go through a bunch more, but right there are examples where you're like, I don't know, maybe Melanie's looking, maybe I'll post some of those today.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are studying for your exam right now, it's such a good way to kill two birds with one stone. As we said at the beginning, you can just create a collection. So while you're making flashcards, take that, copy and paste it, and put it in an Excel sheet, and there are your captions for once you pass the test, and you can be posting all of these facts, and it's helping you study.
Which brings me to another point that's not part of our 5 points, but I want to bring up Canva or other things like that, because posting a fact could be a boring post. So if you guys don't know, there's certain template, I'm using that word correctly, template programs where you can make it pretty. So look up Canva. There's other competing ones out there too, so if you don't like that one, use other ones. But obviously posting like an acre is 40,560 square feet. It's not that exciting. So there are templates you could use that can make it a little more attractive. You could pick colors, themes, designs. You could go with there. And in another video, we'll go over that, like actually designing posts. But that's just a quick point I want to make. Because, posting facts could be a little bit like,
Everything that you're posting, whether it's a fact about you personally or whatever, you want it to be fun for the person to look at it, to read it. So don't just say, hey, I like to surf. That's boring. Try to tell a good story, make it engaging, because people, it doesn't matter how often you post and what you're posting. If no one's reading it, it could say anything, it doesn't matter.
And going to that point, it's also good as you create this content in advance. It's the other benefit of evergreen content. Probably should have mentioned this at the beginning. It's easier to create a theme. Mm-hmm. If you plan it out, you could plan out colors, you could plan out a certain design rather than just posting random stuff every day. And if you have a theme, you look more like you know what you're doing.
It's super important to be consistent and to have those themes. We'll probably do a whole other video just about that because it's a very, very important piece of the marketing puzzle.
Now, I noticed Melanie said the word personal brand. We got ours, my hat, her sunflowers, you got your thing. So when you guys ever see those sunflowers in the back of a video, you know who you're talking to. And obviously my hat is my hat.
I even have some sunflower earrings right here. This is very much my brand. I'm all about the sunflower.
Right. And, I don't want to get too much in that because that's a great topic for another conversation. But clearly, Melanie's trying to portray something here and trying to do it in an intelligent, subtle way. Having those sunflowers just appear wherever she goes. She's not going to walk out to a listing presentation in a bright yellow jumpsuit, but, we get the idea. Or maybe you will. I don't know, rock out.
Not yet.
No. Okay, so let's go to the next point.
So the next one is sales offers, which is super important. Joe, you want to cover this one?
Sure. So you don't want to do any one of these things too much, but you got to include them. And one of the ones you got to include is selling yourself. You don't want every post to be sales, sound like a used car salesman. No disrespect to anybody who sold used cars, but we get the stereotype, right? So you want to make sure people see that you have value. And it could be like, hey, I'm the best agent. Use me. Call me for referrals. If you know someone who wants to sell your house, contact me. You need those posts that are just straight up, unabashed, here I am. If you do that all the time, it's horrible. But if you're mixing it in with 5 other ones, it's not a bad thing if you mix it in appropriately, okay? So those are the ones that are like, if you know somebody's selling your house, here's my number, give me a call. If you need advice on where to buy, if you need a market analysis, let me know. Whatever it needs, mix those up. You create about 10 of those, and you figure, if just doing the math, if you're posting 3 times a week, you're doing 10 of those. What are we talking about, Melanie? 3 months worth?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, so that's about 3 months of posts. So reality, in 3 months, you can almost cycle through those again. So if you create like 15 of them, you're good. So if you create 15 quality sales posts where you really think about and have it convert to business, that's the end game. But once again, you don't want too many of those.
Definitely. And with this sales post, I will say you want to be as explicit as possible. I ran a marketing agency for 5 years before I got my real estate license, and so many people think that they're making offers and think, oh, well, I post about myself and I post about real estate facts all the time. People just know that I'm a real estate agent and they should hire me. But not everyone thinks that way. You are thinking about real estate all the time and you are thinking about your business all the time, but other people are thinking about their lives and their businesses all the time, so they need the explicit offer, the ask. Make it very clear. Send me a message if you want my help, or if you have any questions, please reach out, etc., because you want to make it as easy as possible for someone to hire you.
Yeah, and I love that you brought that up. This is the time to be direct, because many of you guys know I ran Prep Agent, and there's exam prep, and you'd be surprised, on Instagram, I'll get messages of, where could I go to study for the exam? Right? Or what can I use to study for the exam? I'd be like, really? Really? Are you serious? You just asked me through my Instagram profile? And that goes to Melanie's point. Sometimes you just got to like hit him in the face with it. And that's what those posts are. Here we are. Because people just thought my Instagram feed was just nice facts about the exam, but there was no website attached or no YouTube channel, which for me, obviously, I was like, really? Come on, But, you don't want to assume anything. So those posts are just to bang it over people's head. I'm not just posting fun things about real estate. I actually do this.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're feeling like weird or pushy about it, don't, because hopefully you believe in yourself as an agent and you genuinely believe that you can help these clients. And if that's the case, then you should have no trouble posting it, because you're actually doing them a favor. Because if someone is looking for a real estate agent and you think that you're the best one for the job, putting your offer out there directly and explicitly, you're doing them a favor so they don't have to shop around for it.
Right. That is why we're doing this whole thing, right?
Exactly.
Okay, next one.
The next one is inspiration.
Oh, inspiration. So many people have mixed feelings about this one because it does feel very cheesy and over the top, but people like it. People love it. Melanie has amazing with the flowers behind her. I guarantee Melanie doesn't walk around Starbucks go, "You're amazing. No, you're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing." Right? But she knows strategically that works because it gives a message of positivity, of hope. People enjoy it. But if I asked her, "Why don't you just say that all the time?" She'd be like, I don't know, But for marketing purposes, it works very well for her. And she's not the only one. If you guys look at inspirational posts, those get a lot of likes. Statistically speaking, people like it. Even if you're somebody who doesn't love that stuff, who doesn't follow that stuff, when you see it, you're like, okay. And you like it. You hit a little like button. All right, I get where they're going with this. Once again, as long as you don't do it too much. If every post is you could do it, you could do it, you could do it, people are going to read it and be like, "Oh, shove it, Rainbow Bright. It's enough." But if it's mixed in with the other things, it's highly effective. And if you don't know how to write the inspirational stuff, don't plagiarize others, but read others, get ideas from it, and then apply it to your life. So you could read an inspirational post, think about your life and edit it a little bit, tailor it, massage it, and before you know it, it's your own post. So you could use those as a springboard without plagiarizing from other people.
Yeah, and something that I can guarantee almost every single person watching this can or will soon be able to post is your experience studying for your exam. Like, it's hard work, and I'm sure you wanted to quit or give up or you got bored at some time. Tell that story. Say there are things in life that, we don't want to do, but perseverance is the key and don't give up. And then I passed, and if there's something that you're struggling with, you can do it too. Easy story right there.
And if you really like it, you can quote somebody else. I don't love that. I think it's a little lazy. But, if somebody says something truly awesome and you're just like, you know what, I don't want to modify that one bit, just give them credit. If it's another Instagram profile, link back to them, so they get some credibility for it. Credibility is not the right word. Attention for it, and that's the way to do that. So the inspirational ones are great. Last but not least, community posts. These are actually my favorite because this is what the business is. We're in the real estate industry to buy and sell houses, to show up as fiduciaries for our community. So post about it. So what does that mean? So that means you could post, a street with a lot of houses on it. You could post the community library. You could post the beach, the hiking trails. I don't know where you guys live, but something beautiful about your community. You're not selling a home, you're selling the community. All right, people are going to leave their house periodically. All right, so you got to sell the whole community. A lot of you guys may think, well, why not just put a picture of the house? Why does it have to be a street with the houses? One, Mel and I were talking, we're not sure the legalities of posting houses without people's permission in your certain areas. So you got to check into that. Also, that's not really evergreen content. If you're doing real estate, you should be in the moment posting a picture of a house. So that stuff is stuff you see, you go to open houses, pick a picture, put it on your Instagram. You see something for sale, you do a listing, take pictures, post it on your Instagram. What we were talking about today is content that lasts no matter what day, week, month, or year. That is going to be integrated with the stuff that you post within the moment. The stuff that you post within the moment are special events that happen to you, maybe, or something that's, takes you by a moment, and homes and properties that you want to feature at that specific time.
Yeah, spot on. And I think, if you're new to social media and you're just feeling a little overwhelmed, the easiest way to think about it is when someone comes to your page, they want to think real estate right away, and they also want to think real estate in your city. So that's why posting these things kind of does both of those. It really establishes yourself as the expert of your community and the real estate agent of your community, which is exactly what you want your audience to think that you are.
Right. And for those homes that are not evergreen content, realistically, as an agent, you're probably seeing homes 1 to twice a week, basically on average. Other times you're looking for clients, but actually looking at homes once, twice a week. When you look at those homes, you just have to ask permission. Do you mind if I take a picture, post in my social media? Nobody's going to say no, right? People want their homes out there. Nobody's going to be like, I want to sell my home, but please don't show anybody. Don't tell anybody. Nobody's going to say that. How often do you say you look at homes?
Yeah, probably once or twice a week.
Yeah, so you go and you say, you know what, I don't have this listing, but this is a beautiful home. I could maybe bring a buyer, and if not, that agent's going to thank you. Because the reality is, you're not getting money from that anyway, so it's not like by helping them, it's going to take money away from you. So if you take a picture of it and say, hey, you got a great listing, can I share some of the pictures on my social media? They're going to be like, yes, of course, and they're going to love you. It's going to be a great relationship. And then you have that content. You don't have to worry about helping competition, because you guys got to realize you're not really competing with every single other agent. You kind of have to work with them. If you think you're in competition with every single agent, you're hurting yourself. You got to think more you're trying to help each other get going. And people with that mentality will go a lot further.
Definitely. And to Joe's point, every agent that I've ever shown, taken pictures or videos of their listings have been very excited because, like he said, like they're trying to sell it and I'm just putting more eyes on that property. So it strengthened my relationship with the new agent, and then you never know down the line, referrals or whatever. Also just like we're teammates, even if you work for different brokerages, even if whatever, like we're all the same family, you know?
And on the simple level, for the purpose of today's conversation, you got content for your social media.
Exactly. There you go.
You know, and you may not have that $5 million listing, but, you know, they don't know it. All they know is that you're in that house, you're taking pictures, and you're a fancy agent. I saw on yours, you were showing a $2 million condo. Is that your listing?
It is not my listing.
I didn't know that. I just know Melanie was in a $2 million condo. I was like, that's nice. And I want to call Melanie and be like, I want a $2 million condo. I'm a baller. You see the hat? I could get that, you know.
And look at that. My plan is working. That's exactly why when I said, what house do I want to show? I could show a $300,000 house or a $2 million condo. I definitely chose a $2 million for that exact reason.
Not that there's anything wrong with showing a $300,000 house. I mean, there's wrong with taking bad pictures of that house. But if you could kind of show everything, it all depends who you want to work with. Anyway, but the point is that community content is valuable. And just to review, our 5 points of evergreen content that you want to create, and you want to store, and you want to schedule out. And this is important. You can start this now, even if you haven't passed your exam, or if you're a new agent, or maybe you've been practicing for years, and you need to kind of make up some ground. What did we say? You got that list of notes?
Yep. We got personal. We got real estate facts. We got sales offers, direct pitches to your audience, inspirational quotes and stories, and community photos.
So that's that for now. Thanks, everybody. This is Joe.
Melanie. We'll see you next time.